And at this point now, we want to call our CEO, Bwana Sam Shollei, to please give us a speech. Bwana Sam, karibu.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our guests, starting from Cabinet Secretary for ICT, Mr. Joe Musheru. I'm not sure that I can call you honorable, because I don't know whether you ran for political office. But so, allow me to call you Mr. Joe Musheru. I know we were expecting, and we're still expecting, the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Amina Mohammed. I think she will be here shortly. Our guest from Geneva, and I am told I can call him His Excellency, Dr. Mukisa Kitui, the Secretary General of the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. And Betty, I will not attempt to say UNCTAD. Other distinguished guests, the directors of Standard Group, who are here, Jim McPhee, Rionga Tiambati, and Mr. Sean Zambuni. Eminent guests, I know I saw my brother Bob Colimo, CEO of Safaricom. I saw Jeremy Awori, CEO of Barclays. I saw my brother Dr. Francis Wangusi, Honorable Martha Karua, first governor, woman governor in Kenya, representing Kirinyaga County, an aspiring presidential candidate, Mr. Ekuru Aukot. And I know whereas we are neighbors, we are normally unable to pronounce one another's names. Other distinguished guests, allow me to start by thanking all of you for joining us as we celebrate yet another milestone in the history of our group, turning exactly 115 years this year. The Standard has a rich history, as we have seen from some of the exhibitions that you may have seen when you are coming in, and videos that have been played earlier. It's the oldest newspaper in the country, 115 years. We've been here as part of the history of our country. Over the years, we've kept our promise of being true to our readers and citizens of this country. Our vision is, and has always been, to be the voice of society. And as some of the speakers said earlier, when we started in 1902, we were called the African Standard, and we were started by a nation gentleman called Jivanji, who had been hired by the British company that was building the railway to bring workers from Bombay and Karachi. And he started this paper for the Indian workers and for the natives, as they were called then. Those were the Kenyans at colonial times. And of course, my editorial director, who decided not to come here because he was worried that he might not have a paper tomorrow, tried to explain the reason why we have redesigned the paper. It's a tradition in the media industry that to reinvent the paper every 5 to 7 years. We started thinking about redesigning this paper in 2014, and we actually had a redesign that was done by eminent German design company, except that when we looked at the end product, we were able to conclude that it was taking us too far away from our base. So then enter Kelly Franklin, an American eminent designer who has designed newspapers all over the world, including in East Africa. Most of the newspapers that have been designed in Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya have been designed by this lady. And I can assure you that tonight that the paper that you'll see tomorrow in the streets will be a much improved version of the Standard. Ladies and gentlemen, the role of media is majorly to inform, educate, and entertain. But most importantly, media is the watchdog of society. Like the British politician Edmund Burke said in 1809, and he was sitting in Parliament, or whatever, the House of Commons, and he said, there are 3 states in Parliament, but in the reporters' gallery yonder, there sits a 4th estate, more important far than them all. It's not a figure of speech, he said, or witty saying. It is a literal fact, very momentous times. It is a 4th estate, is a watchdog of society. And he said, without a voice, then what we discuss in the House means nothing. But with the changing media environment in the world over, most media businesses are shifting from traditional media to digital platforms. Whereas print continues to face challenges, including decline in advertising due to the rise of digital media, newspapers will be with us for many years. In certain parts of the world, including our region, print media continues to grow. And even here locally, we are witnessing an increase in the number of newspapers, especially in the counties. So those who think that newspapers are running away, I think they will outlive most of us. In any case, there will be other reasons why newspapers exist, because people are looking for the truth. While newspapers are here to stay, readers are constantly looking for fresh perspective in the way content is delivered. The launch of the new Field Standard newspaper today, in the streets tomorrow, is a culmination of a journey we began several months ago in response to the readers' demands for change in not only the way we present the content, but also the nature of the content itself. The editorial director has described new content, but the product itself will be easier to read, it will be easier to navigate, and you will be able to identify sections of the newspapers much more easier than you have been able to. The various sections of the newspaper are color-coded for ease of navigation. The content is fairly well differentiated and expanded. The old design of the Standard, which we are discontinuing tomorrow, was launched almost 10 years ago. And while it has served us well over the years, it's clear we needed to change to ride the new wave of rapidly changing media landscape that is digitally driven and highly fragmented. Amidst the noise and with the emergence of pseudo-journalism and fake news phenomena, I don't know, Will is the master whether I said the word pseudo properly. You can correct me at some stage if you like. It's becoming increasingly difficult to know what or who to believe. And it is clear. I think several people have been dying in this country, reported in various blogs. I think the last one who died last week was the eminent entertainer in this country, Churchill. He died and resurrected a few hours later. So a number of us, I hope none of you will be dying soon and resurrecting. Because of these fake news blogs, we hear people copying various media and outing them as the Citizen or as the Standard or as KTN. So we think that traditional media is got its role, and a role that will continue to exist for a while. So we at the Standard believe that we should be in the space of credible journalism, pursuing the truth, fair and balanced reporting, as we have done over the past 115 years. The new Standard has put together an expansive mix of content to address information gaps of today's man, woman, be they young or be they old. The strong political pillars of our content, of entertainment and sports, have been augmented with even more compelling value in education and enterprise, county and national happenings, family and lifestyle stories, targeting the ever-growing audience of women, men, and youth. Today, we bring you a bold, modern look of the Standard, tastefully designed to appeal to the discerning reader, and with a variety of magazines that reflect the diversity of our readers' interests, especially those of a younger generation. Key aspects of social media have been integrated into the paper to enable readers to consume print and video content from the various devices seamlessly. So you will be seeing very significant link between the print newspaper and social media, including video content that is generated specifically for print on our online platforms. The Standard brand will continue to stand for the truth and for news you can believe. We do this every day by upholding journalistic ethics and the values of fairness and balance that have seen the Standard grow into a leading media house in the region, having in its stable top brands in the broadcast and digital space. KTN, original KTN, we call it KTN Home these days, has consolidated itself to remain the number 2 news station. KTN News has, in 18 months, overtaken many other stations to become the number 3 station in Kenya. Radio Maisha, which was approximately number 35 or 40 3-4 years ago, today is a constant number 2 and an occasional number 1 radio station in Kenya. Standard Digital has been the leading Kenyan website for many, many months, until a few weeks ago when we discovered a pure play called Tuko, which then writes a lot of stories about gossip and has overtaken many of the digital sites that exist in this country. And Bob, I'm sorry that Tuko has also overtaken yourself. Most importantly, our advertisers will find the new Standard particularly attractive for their creative adverts and refreshing, flexible in applying innovative advertising solutions. This will give them greater value and interface they need with our various, with our broadcast and digital platforms for even greater reach. The company continues to make significant investment in attracting and retaining some of the best journalists, editors, writers, designers, and photographers. We continue to train young students out of university from various disciplines in journalism. And as I speak, we have a second batch of about 15 journalists going through training at the Aga Khan University, Media University. And we'll keep on expanding the skill base of our journalists so that we can continue to deliver content that is credible and that is agreeable to Kenyans, especially those of the younger generation. We expect to keep the Standard at the cutting edge of journalism, journalistic innovation, so that the new Standard meets the expectation of our loyal readers and attracts new ones. We are confident that the Standard new look and feel will establish a deeper connection with our current and new readers and advertisers. We acknowledge the contribution of all stakeholders and appreciate those who have worked in the front lines and the back rooms to make the standard what it is and will be tomorrow. The unsung heroes who wake up every day thinking, praying, and working hard for the Standard Group, we appreciate you. We thank our readers, our advertisers for patronizing the Standard newspaper as it has evolved over the last 115 years. I conclude by quoting the words of J.F. Kennedy, who said, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future." Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Nataka kuongea kidogo katika lugha ya Kiswahili, kuambia watu wetu wa Kenya wote mahali wali kwamba kesho watapata standard ambayo itaonekana tofauti na ile imekuwa mbeleni, na waambia kwamba itakuwa na habari zaidi kushinda ile imekuwa nayo, na itakuwa rahisi kusoma na itawafurahisha. Kwa hivyo kesho mkiamka mwende katika mahali yenu ya kununua magazeti na mununue gazeti ya Standard. Nasema asante sana, Mungu awabariki. You have a nice evening. Betty, are you coming to take over, or are you bringing Willie the word master to correct some of the things that I've said? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the evening.